Hello, everyone. My name is Jay Unick. I'm a professor here at the School of Social Work, and this is the introduction to Social Work 600, Social Welfare and Social Policy, where this semester we will be exploring all sorts of issues related to how the government addresses issues associated with social welfare. I wanted to give you a brief introduction, both to myself and to the course, and then through the semester, we'll continue to get to know each other and really explore some, I think, very interesting concepts in social welfare and social welfare policy. So as I said, my name is Jay. I've been a professor here for almost 15, 20 years now. And most of my work deals with some element of policy. I really focus on drug policy and mental health policy. But in the course of doing so, you can't avoid child welfare policy or housing policy or education policy because all of these elements interact in terms of how we address and try to solve social problems through government intervention. We're certainly going to talk about health policy. We're going to talk about the ways in which our federal institutions, our state institutions, and our local institutions interact with individuals and help address problems that emerge through the social order. So I wanted to first identify ways to contact me. This is an asynchronous course, and so we're going to have limited in-person contact, but we need to have lots of regular contact. Engagement is going to be critical for this course. And the best way to reach me is obviously email or through the discussion sections. And there's a variety of different discussion sections. So we're going to have weekly discussion board postings, and that's one way that we're going to interact. But there's also a Ask Your Professor section, and that's another way you can ask me any general course question. So if you're going to ask me something about the course that other people might be interested in, please use the discussion section so I can answer that and everybody else can benefit from your question. If you have a personal question, then that's where email comes in. In general, I'll get back to you within 48 hours. If I don't get back to you within 48 hours, I might have missed it. You should probably re-engage me. But my intention is to answer any question either in the discussion board or via email within 48 hours. I wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of how the course is going to work. So again, this is an asynchronous course. And so every week, you're going to need to log on and engage in a variety of activities. Obviously, there's going to be reading materials. There's a book associated with this course. There's various editions of the book. I think either one of the last two editions work. The previous edition is going to be a lot cheaper. I am ambivalent about the edition that you have. All of it's going to cover relatively the same amount of material. So the book is one source of information and the readings associated with the book and other readings that are come up, and those will be listed in the syllabus by week. The second way that we are going to engage in pedagogical activities is through a series of lectures. Amanda Lenning and myself and other instructors associated with this course will be doing weekly videos based on the material in the readings, but also expanding beyond the material in the reading. So it's very important that you watch the videos in addition to doing the reading. So that's how we're going to convey information to you. The other part of this, and that's critical, is that there's some level of engagement. And that's going to happen through discussion boards and other activities that are going to come up. And every week, we're going to have at least two. One is going to be a discussion board activity where you discuss your ideas and then you engage in discussion with your colleagues around those ideas. And then there'll be some other activity that we decide week to week. And that's going to vary over the course of the week and sort of how best we can engage with the material. So the discussion and the other engagement activities are going to happen every week. So every week you need to do those chunk of things. And we're going to be monitoring regular activity and regular check-in. If I don't see you logging in, that's the part where I'm going to reach out to you and ask you what's up, because it's really important in the asynchronous format that you regularly check in and do the activities and stay on pace, because week to week to week to week, we build on knowledge. And so it's important that you keep up and not fall behind. The other piece of this course, obviously, is going to be the assignments. And there are two primary assignments. One is a policy brief, a policy analysis that's going to happen in 3 stages. So there's going to be one earlier on in the semester, and again, the dates for that are listed in the syllabus. The second one is going to build on that first one, incorporate the feedback from that first one, and then the third one will build on the prior two, incorporating the feedback from the prior two, resulting in a 10 to 15 page paper that will be a policy analysis of some policy of your choice. And so that's going to be the main grading element, along with participation, which is that weekly engagement stuff. And then there's going to be some knowledge checks, which one might call quizzes. We like to refer to them as knowledge checks. That's going to happen in 2 sessions over the course of the semester. Again, those dates are specified in the syllabus, and those are going to be multiple choice, 30 questions, I believe, and you're going to have 45 minutes to complete those questions. So again, social welfare policy, I hope you're in the right place. We're going to do this in an asynchronous format. We're going to do this through a series of weekly videos and engagement activities and readings that will then culminate in some quizzes to check the knowledge and make sure that you're acquiring the knowledge, and a policy brief, which is going to be, or a policy analysis, which is going to be the main graded outcome. So that's going to be how this class is structured, and it's also going to be how we're going to assess your performance in the class. And again, I can't emphasize enough that weekly participation is essential. If you're missing weeks, those come out of your participation grade, and it's going to affect the rest of it. If you have issues, that's where you would contact me through email, and it's better to address those issues beforehand rather than afterwards. And then just briefly, the topics that we're going to cover. So we're going to cover the whole range of social welfare policy in the United States. And we're going to start by talking about what is policy, how is policy made, how does policy get implemented. These are really critical parts of policy that cut across all individual topics that we are going to address within the policy regime. In terms of what we're going to cover basic policies around labor and education. We're going to cover policies around family and child welfare. We're going to cover policies around health and housing. And these are very large areas. In fact, each of these have their own policy class somewhere else in the School of Social Work. And so we're going to cover this at the broadest level. The idea is to give you a foundation that as you move on in terms of additional policy classes, that you can then build some depth. But we're going to try and give you a really good survey of social welfare policy in the United States. So this is a brief introduction. I hope this has been helpful. I will note that there is going to be a mandatory Zoom session on the 28th, which is a Thursday, from 6 to 7:30. We might not take the whole time, where we will go over in person the elements of the syllabus. We'll get a chance to meet face to face, and I look forward to seeing you all then. Take care.